In this video, we'll learn how to use Excel to calculate the mean, standard deviation, variance for the probability distribution table. For example, I have a distribution table for the x, the random variable, and the p of x, 0, 1, 2, and p of x for 0, 1, and 2 on the right side. How do I find the mean? How do I find the mean or the expected value of this probability distribution? There's a formula that we usually use to find the mean by hand. We simply multiply the x and p of x together, and we sum everything together. So you multiply these two, you multiply these two, and you multiply these two, and you add all the sums together. Well, you can do that by hand, but if we have a large amount of values, a long list of values, then it is better to use Excel. So what I do is I make one column for the x, one column for p of x, and I just simply multiply it, and then at the end I just use the sum function to find the mean. So for example, let's look at this example here. Now the next column, I take x, I multiply to p of x, I just name it. Now I want Excel to return something for me, so I press equal, I multiply x, I press on x, I click on x, I multiply p of x. So this will give me the product of x and p of x for the first row. If I move to the right corner until I see the black cross, I click on that, I hold it, and I drag it down. Then Excel will repeat the calculation for the next two rows. They multiply the next two rows, 1 and 0.5, give me this value, and the same thing to here. And then at the end of the day, I want to get the sum, because the sum of all the product will give me the mean. So to find the sum, you just have to press equal, and you use the function sum, and I want to sum, I want to add all of the product together, and I just close them, and the mean in this case is 1 right here. For the variance has a formula of the sum of x, the data value, minus the mean square, multiply p of x. The mean, we found this in the previous steps, last page, right? It was 1, and now we need to make another column. So the mean was 1. Now we make another column to find the difference between x and the mean. So we say x minus the mean. So you take the value of x, you minus the mean, you get another column, and then you need to square that column. And finally, you need to multiply that to p of x, and you need to add everything together. So let's try it here. Alright, so this is my mean. This is my mean. Now I need x minus the mean, right? We follow this formula to find the variance of the distribution table. So I need the x minus the mean, right? So now I press equal. These are the x values. So I press on the first number, the x value, minus the mean. The mean is mu, which is we found it here to be 1, right? Or you can just subtract 1. Now make sure that, okay, subtract 1, and you press enter. Okay, and then you want each of the mean, each of the x value, subtract the mean. So now you drag it down here, because we have 3 value of x, 3 value of x. And the problem, we do have a problem here. If you click on this, the x value minus dA, it did not minus 1, but it's minus an empty cell down here. The reason is because anytime that you drag the formula down, because we subtract 1 is right here, the next time when you drag 1 more down, this number here is also moving down. So the formula box is also moving down by one more unit. And we don't have anything down here. So in this case, we want to keep number 1 to be in one fixed spot. So we put the dollar sign in between. Okay. Now, when you drag it down to the other 2 rows, it won't move the red box. You can move the X, which is the blue one, but then the red box, it will stay fixed. It stays at one spot because we put a dollar sign in between. So now this is my X minus the mean, and I need to take the square, right? I need to take the square. So X minus the mean, I need to take the square. The square is just that this number multiplied by itself. We just square them, and we square for every 3 of them, right? All of them here. And then finally, we take whatever the square, we multiply to P of X, multiply to P of X. So square multiply to P of X to get to the last expression here. So I press equal. I take the whatever I have the square, I multiply P of X. P of X is this value because I'm still working on the first data of X, and I press enter. And now I do the same thing for the other one. And then at the end you need to sum it, right? The summation notation here. So I need to sum it. So I press equal sum of everything that I have here, everything inside this bracket, and that will give me 0.5. So 0.5 is the variance, the sigma square of this probability distribution table. And then for the standard deviation, which is a sigma value, it is simple. If you got the variance, you can find the standard deviation just by taking the square root of the variance. So let's say 0.5 is your variance. Now, to find the sigma, this is sigma square. Sigma square is variance. To find the standard deviation, which is sigma only, we take the square root of the variance. So we use the function equal SQRT. This is the square root. And then of 0.5, we just type 0.5 in. So let me try it here. I press equal SQRT, and then I type in 0.5, close it, and this is my standard deviation, which is the square root of the variance.